What do you think of when you hear the words concentration camp? Concentration camps were well known less than 100 years ago in Germany. But did you know that in today's world there are similar things going on for Muslims in China? After doing research on multiple reliable websites, I have learned that the Chinese government is putting Muslims in what they call re education centers. People use different names for these centers, such as detention centers, concentration camps, or even prisons for Muslims. Many people have learned about the importance of having a free country and letting people practice their own religion. But at the moment, there are people that have no idea how awful the Chinese government is treating the Uyghurs because of their religion. In this speech, I plan to inform you about the Uyghurs in China and how the Chinese government is treating them in Xinjiang. I plan to cover who the Uyghurs are, how they are being mistreated, and why they are being mistreated. Let's start off by talking about one of the main races in Xinjiang, China, that have a different religion than most. There are different ethnicities all over China, and the one we're focusing on today is the Uyghurs. The Uyghurs are known as the forgotten Muslims in China in the city of Xinjiang. According to PBS.org, there are around 11 million Uyghurs in Xinjiang. Muslims are the people who practice the religion Islam. Pew Research states most Muslims around the world are united by a belief in one God and the Prophet Muhammad. These Muslims also do religious rituals such as fasting during Ramadan, and throughout their day, they also pray multiple times. The last fact about the Uyghurs is that they are related to the Turkish because it's also a Turkic language that is spoken in Central Asia. Turkey is also a place where a majority of Muslims reside in. Next, I'm going to be showing you pictures of some Muslims that are protesting because China is ethnic cleansing them. And then the other picture over here is a picture of China and where Xinjiang is located. And the last picture is a picture of a mosque. So now that you know some information about the Uyghurs, I want to address some of the ways the Uyghurs are being mistreated in China. Uyghurs are currently being put into re-education centers, which are basically concentration camps for Muslims. According to Vox, Jen Kirby states that in these re-education centers, Chinese officials have used waterboarding and other forms of torture, including sexual abuse, as a part of their indoctrination process. In their indoctrination process, they are brainwashing these Muslims to believe in the Chinese faith and forget about their own religion. The following statistics come from the Vox webpage. Experts estimate as many 3 million people have disappeared into these camps, with about 1 million currently being held. As you can see, these centers are getting out of hand and they're continuing to grow. According to Ellis Anderson, writing in the New York Times, some of the Uyghurs are being put into these centers for up to 10 to 15 years where they aren't allowed to do normally what they do for their culture. Inside and outside of these camps, they are not able to have long beards as their cultural would normally have, and women are allowed to wear hijabs because of the Chinese controlling them. Another way the Chinese government is torturing Uyghurs that the Washington Post stated is by forcing them to drink alcohol and eat pork in these detention centers. Eating pork and drinking alcohol is something that is forbidden in their religions, and they're being forced to do this and they can't do anything about it. Next, I'm going to be showing you pictures of a concentration camp, and this is an aerial picture, and as you can see, it's very large. And in the right, you can see a picture of Muslim women that are wearing hijabs, just in case you didn't know what they look like. Lastly, I want to give you some information about why the Uyghurs are being treated like this. The Chinese government condemns the practice of Islam by Muslims in their country. After doing research on the Uyghurs, they're treated like this because the Chinese government wants to curtail Islamic religion and practices. This is stated by critics in the Vox. The goal of the Chinese is to get all of the Muslims to stop practicing their religion in their country because they don't support other religions. In the Washington Post, it states that the Uyghurs are put into these centers to control the population in Xinjiang, China. They don't want Islam to continue spreading throughout their country, which is why they keep these Muslims in these centers and abuse them. Lastly, the Chinese government sees Uyghurs as extremists and a terrorism threat, and they use these beliefs as an excuse to put them in these camps, and that's their justification. Their beliefs are no threat and no reason to send them into these camps. In conclusion, let's review what I have covered in my speech today. First, I told you about the culture of the Uyghurs and some other things about them. Next, I addressed some of the ways that the Uyghurs are being treated in China. Lastly, I explained some of the reasons why the Uyghurs are being treated like this. When we all had first heard of the Holocaust of the Jews, we thought that this couldn't have been true. There was no way that the world would let something so cruel and inhumane happen. However, in modern day, there is a very similar Holocaust that is happening for the Muslims in China. That is the re-education centers that are also known as concentration camps, and they need to be more paid attention to by society. These centers are abusing the Uyghur community, and the goal of the Chinese government is to get rid of their Muslim culture and get rid of the religion overall. Thank you.